Deconverted Man here. 3 months ago, I left a comment on a video, and it got a response. This was in response to what happens after we die, or when we die. And my answer was, we return to the star stuff we came from, which I thought is both poetic and, well, true. Whatever else happens to consciousness or the self, that's, I suppose you could say it's up to speculation, but because I'm a skeptic, I just say, well, I don't have any evidence, so it's past my bedtime. Yes, it is. That the answer is, the simplest answer. Anyway, so the person said, well, the star stuff, that's too much comics. Like comics, like, Spider-Man or something. I don't know. Just as science, the chemicals that make up everything came from the deaths of few stars. We are star stuff. Okay, so where did the stars come from? Yes. Well, it's a good question. But rather than answering the question, which I could have, I instead asked, what if the answer is, I don't know? What would you be able to draw as a conclusion from the fact that it's unknown? Now, of course, they don't have an answer for this. And hold on, let me see. I don't know why it's doing this now. It's not showing me the full. Nope, don't care about the video. Nope, shut up. Let's see. Here we go. Now, that's really weird. Huh. What in the world is going on? YouTube, what the hell? I don't know. Okay, YouTube's just fragging out on me. I don't know what it's doing. So, rather than answering the question that I asked, they said, oh, I don't know. That's not the first time I've heard this from an atheist. And going on to say, well, too many, say, well, here's this thing and we don't know, and one day it will be known, and you all just have faith and things like this. And said, and they said that the age of the universe, or millions and millions of years, is magic, and we just believe in magic, and this other sort of typical thing that we've seen from many theists and apologists that are responding to us atheists. And this confusion between what is science and what is atheism is sadly very common. And biological evolution and the age of the universe and the age of the earth and the other things that we know in science has nothing at all to do with atheism. Not a thing. Not anything. Not knowing the answer to any given question has nothing to do with atheism. Not understanding something has nothing to do with atheism. Not having an answer has, none of these things are anything to do with it. But there's this constant and continual confusion, it seems, with many theists who think that, well, you believe the universe came from nothing. No, I don't. Or you believe in thousands and millions of years, but that's all fake. That's not real. That's made up. That's propaganda. No, it's not. You believe this. You have this religion, and so everything is put into the terms that they understand. That, well, I have a religion and I have a faith, so everybody else must have a religion or a faith. And sadly, there are people out there that are teaching this as an apologetic method. You need to tell people, ask those evolutionists these questions. And it's damaging, because essentially what happens is, I say, there's no way I could ever accept your God, because you've intertwined your God belief with the denial of science. So you're saying 1 + 1 is 1,000,000, and since that's true, your God exists. And anyone that says it's not true, that's a conspiracy. That's fake. That's not real. And I'm just like, no, I can't believe in your God, because 1 + 1 is 2. That's the way it is. And it really is this anti-science sort of trope that is sadly common in, well, maybe more in America than anywhere else. The evangelistic types that are told as part of their doctrine that evolution is not true. They're told that, that millions of years is false. And these are not, this is not anything that's in the Bible. This is just stuff that they're told. And it becomes part of their belief system. And it shuts them off from understanding reality. And it makes those that, want to talk about anything see them as ludicrous fools. You don't know what the bleep you're talking about. You don't know anything about science. You don't know anything about logic. You don't know. It looks like to me that you don't know much about anything at all. I'm not trying to be a snob. I'm not saying I'm smarter than you in everything, but it certainly seems like you don't know what the bleep you're talking about. Go read a book. Read a book other than the Bible, for the love of humanity. Learn some science. And come back after you've done that, because I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to sit here and explain everything to you and give you all the answers. And even if I did, you're not going to believe any of it anyways. So, don't waste my time. Science facts have nothing to do with my not believing in God, because I was fine with evolution and age of the universe, all that stuff when I was a believer. Didn't bother me. Didn't put a stumbling block for my faith. It had nothing to do with it. This is just, the way that things are. If there's a God, then it used evolution. If there's a God, then the millions of years is correct, because that's what the evidence is. Unless this God's tricking us, then you can't trust God, and then there's really no reason to follow a God you can't trust. So if there's a thing that made us, that thing is going to align with reality. And it's not going to be something that doesn't align with reality, right? And yet, these evangelistic types just don't understand. They have these questions, and they think, well, you don't have the answer, so therefore I'm right. I have the answer. It all came from God. That's my answer. That's the answer. You know, I don't have to think about it. So let's see if I can get this going now, right? Yeah, let's see. This is the first time. It's not the first time that they've heard "I don't know" from an atheist. How simple. Just make a silly claim and then defend with "we don't know," or as some say, "we don't know yet." Yeah, I'll try. 1 + 1 = 0. Don't ask me how, because I don't know. Let's say we don't know yet. This is exactly how you sound. No, that's how you sound. I mean, millions of years is not magic. Please, for the love of anything, stop calling nonsense as science. It's insulting to actual science. People nowadays call just about anything they like any of their propagandas as science. And anyone who is opposed to there is anti-science. Wow, I like science. No one will tell me I don't just because I refuse to share in their silly beliefs or propaganda. And even if I didn't, still has nothing to do with science. Oh man, you're so undereducated. I'm sad, but I'm laughing. I asked you a question about the inception of life. I don't see any answer. Where and how did the first living organism come about? What was it? How did it reproduce, evolve? Was it in water or land? Anything at all? I'm not gonna answer your question. The problem is, you didn't answer my question, which was, what does not knowing something mean? See, that's a fundamental basic of logic. Okay, I don't know does not equal, therefore X is true. One example I've used in the past is, let's say that there's a door in your house and it's closed and there's nobody but you at home. You know this as a fact, and suddenly the door opens. Now, this is probably going to scare you. That would be the normal response to have. And you're probably going to investigate what's going on, and you're probably going to think that it's a person, because that's how brains usually work. That's how we usually think about things. So let's say you go and you explore and you find there's no one there. You look around, make sure the windows are closed and the doors are locked and everything is, the same. It's just that the door opened. Would you be allowed to then posit a ghost opened your door? No, you would not. You don't know how the door opened. That's the actual truth of the matter. You don't know, and so you say, well, how do you explain this? Answer my question. You can't tell me how the door opened either. The other person, let's say there's another person that came in and, no, I don't know how the door opened. I don't know why it opened. It just did. That's for sure. And sometimes we have a mystery. And say, well, because you don't know, it's got to be a ghost. No, that's not how that works. There's a number of possibilities, by the way, of how and why the door opened that we haven't explored. Maybe it was an animal. Maybe the door wasn't as closed as you thought. Maybe the house is settling. Maybe, this, maybe that, maybe any number of possibilities. And simply because we don't have the exact answer doesn't mean anything. And so the purpose of asking the question of what does it mean to you to not know the answer to something, like what conclusion can you draw from that, is to try to get the person to see that not having an answer or not knowing the answer does not then mean that the answer is X. And none of it has anything to do with not believing in a God. Where life originated has nothing to do with a God or not God. I know theists love to think that it does. Oh, we don't know, therefore God. See, you can't tell us where it came from. You can't tell us for sure. So that means God did it somehow, No. It came, chemicals that could join together did. And the ones that were more successful at doing this did it better. And then you get more and more complex. And at some point, there's a gradient that's very difficult to measure. But at some point, it's something that we would call life. But what exactly that is to say what exactly life is very difficult to hammer down to a narrow, precise definition. And you want that in science. But in this case, you don't really have it. So at some point, you'd say, okay, well, it didn't seem to be alive at this point, but now I guess it qualifies as being alive at that point. And where that is might be very difficult to pin down. But at any rate, the chemicals join together, and now they're complex enough to be called life, and then things get more complex, and the cell, now they're a cell, and then they're a more complex cell, and then they're eventually you have plants, and eventually you have small creatures, and it all takes a lot of time to do this, and there's a lot to it. It's not something easy to explain or understand or learn about. But none of that has anything to do with belief or lack of belief in any God at all. I mean, you can say that God had a hand in that, I suppose, if you want to. There's no evidence, but fine, you can say that. And I can say, well, that's fine. I just don't know, exactly how it all went down. But we have some good ideas, and it seems like it's doing it on its own. So if there's a God, then it's completely invisible and undetectable. So that's kind of a problem. But it could be there. I mean, it could be anything. It could be demons. It could be, time travelers. It could be aliens. It could be, magic. It could be whatever. I don't know. But I don't need any of those additional explanations when it seems that nature is doing this on its own. It's just, this is what's occurring. You people in chat distracting me with your funny stuff. I'm not really sure how to approach the people that just don't understand science anymore. I've tried every approach that there is, I think. So look, your beliefs are wrong. Said that your beliefs are causing me to not be able to believe. That you need to learn science. Here's all the facts. Here's all the evidence. Here's, videos on it. I tried reductio ad absurdum. I've done it all by now. So, you get kind of jaded. You get kind of a little bit cynical after a while. And it's just like, Just go learn. Just, and it's so easy to just say you're stupid. Just forget it. It's just, I'm thick. And you don't get it, and you don't want to understand it, and it's too easy to do that. So I don't want to do that, but maybe, just maybe, this person that left this comment will hear this video and say, okay, well, yeah, but I don't know how this came to be, and the answer of God makes so much more sense. And it's like, yeah, that might, but that doesn't make it true. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Anyways, so what the my pal think what? Not bleep. No. No. Yeah. Well, we all have our different tactics, I suppose. What the bleep? What the bleep is chat? Okay, people, you're having too much fun. Which is great. I love that. All right, that's all I've got for you for now. Until next time. The lobsters will of course win against the turtles. So, yeah.